How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Rich Erdman Show. I am your host. Just take off the words "the" and "show" and use that name. Welcome to the Open Road Internet Radio Network, which I created, and there's a few other shows on this network that I'll talk about later on. This is my show, just a slight scary look into my brain, which, like I said, scary. And if anybody knows me, you know damn well it's a scary ass look. Just some news stories from the week that have kind of irritated me that I'd like to touch on. Um, a guy that I really was interested in for running for president was on the Republican side, even though I'm not a quote unquote Republican. I'm a conservative libertarian, but I really liked him. And, well, personally, I also forgot about his stance on guns, so that kind of drew a little bit of a line in the dirt for me. But Ben Carson, Dr. Ben Carson, world-renowned neurologist, smart guy, was on CNN talking to Chris Cuomo, I believe it was Sunday, I believe too. Makes a comment. Well, I shouldn't say makes a comment. He was being interviewed, and it somehow led to homosexuality. And I'm like, okay, what does that really have to do with anything? But he asked him, does he think, people are born that way or do they choose? Well, Dr. Carson, I love you, man, but damn, that was a bad answer. He said they choose. He said, and the reason why they choose is because when men go to prison, they go in straight and sometimes they come out gay. It's like, really, homie, you really, that was the best you had? I mean, I used to be the way I was about that whole deal. I ain't like that no more. I don't care. I just don't want it driven down my throat. Oh shit, bad pun. Um, More or less, they obviously attacked him on all the medias and saying no. I honestly think it pretty much shot his whole running for president idea right in the ass. It could have been answered so much better. I mean, now my personal view, do I think it's natural or do I think it's a choice? I'd say probably 70% is natural, 30% is a choice because I grew up, went to middle school and high school with a guy who turned out to be gay, which, whatever. Never really had a problem with him. He's a cool cat. And I mean, so it's kind of hard, just to say that one day he just goes, oh, you know what? I like dick. And if that's the way it happened, that's the way it happened. But I knew him from sixth grade. I mean, Christ, 20 fucking years now. Oh God, now I'm feeling old. He just the way Carson answered this, it was not a smart move. He should have almost kind of took the Scott Walker evolution question and just kind of like Scott Walker did, said I'm punting that question. It really had nothing to do with the context of their interview. So it was like, this question is irrelevant to what we're talking about, and he just basically, instead of punting it like he should have, he charged head on into it, and he fell flat on his face. Unfortunately, like I said, I think that ruined his chances. But I mean, really, when you look at homosexuality, I mean, the biggest thing about it, I mean, there's no evolutional benefit to it. And like I said, I don't care. What people do in their bedrooms is not my business. If two guys fall in love and they want to get married, let them get married. And under the whole, well, God said this. You know what? I'm not the most religious person in the world. I really don't identify as a Christian. I'm my own thing. I believe science and religion run together. But it's just, I mean, I hate this subject so much. But one of the most annoying things is that the left wing, they sit there and say, oh no, abortions are, good things. So you mean to tell me that, they're getting now to where they can tell you what color your kids' eyes are going to be? They can tell you, I mean, they say being gay is genetic. I don't believe it's genetic. What I think it is honestly I think some wiring gets crossed, and you're just born the way you're born. That's the way it is. You're born that way. I don't care. If you're happy, you find somebody that makes you happy. Y'all want to get married? Do what you got to do. Do it. I'll be the first one standing at your wedding, clapping, talking about good job, y'all. Y'all found somebody you love. Now, ironically, if you would have met me 5 years ago, my take on this was a little more different. But I've come around. I've grown up. I just look at it as it's just I don't care what other people do in their room. I don't want people in my room. I don't want the government in my room. The worst thing about the whole gay marriage thing is that the government has nothing to do with marriage. There is nothing in the United States Constitution. The word marriage does not show up. The only thing that remotely comes close to having anything to do with the marriage is the 14th Amendment under Equal Protection of Rights. That is the only thing that has anything that possibly could even come close to marriage. I mean, even if your state says no, you can't get married, here's what you do. Y'all get a joint bank account. Go put both your names on the deed of a house. Go put your names on the title of a car loan. Go buy a ring. There you go. You're married. That's really all it is. I understand where the benefits thing comes in, though. I mean, that's kind of a pain in the butt to deal with. But anyhow, on another subject that really grinds my Peter Griffin's grind my gears. This whole executive action that President fuckshit's deciding, M855 ammo, green tip ammo is armor piercing. No, it's fucking not. And he's going to sign an executive action. That is it's unconstitutional to do an executive action when the Congress and the Senate are in session. They are in fucking session, you stupid ass. The fucking people that elected him are idiots. Oh my god. But the point of the fucking executive action was mainly back in the 1800s when it took Congress and Senate fucking, weeks to get to Washington, D.C. from their districts. Now it takes a matter of 20 fucking minutes, depending on where you're coming from. I mean, a couple hours, I'm being smart ass on the time, so don't rip my balls off too much about it. But the executive order was meant for if the Congress and the Senate were not in session, they weren't going to be able to get there in any, rush of time. He could automatically pen something. Now, I know somebody out there's going to go, well, George Bush did it. I don't give a fuck what George Bush did. I didn't like George Bush the last 5 years of his presidency. And when he did it, I spoke out against it. I didn't like the fact he was doing it because it's unconstitutional. I live by the Constitution. The government is supposed to run in their part of the Constitution. There's the executive branch, the legislative, and judicial. They're supposed to operate in there. Obamacare, it's not a tax. Well, then why is the IRS handling it? The fucking Obamacare was born in the goddamn Senate. All laws are supposed to come from the Congress. I mean, it's basic shit that even fucking 5th graders should know. But you got President Numbnuts. He's just, executive order this, executive order that. Oh, the amnesty thing. I don't even want to get into the amnesty. That'll be another show. But M855 ammo is where I started with this before I went off on my tangent, and I apologize. M855 ammo is just AR-15 ammo. It's 5.56 caliber. It's not armor piercing. Christ, I run hollow points in my 45. In my my 45, I'm running hollow points, and those I believe are more armor piercing than an 855. I'm probably wrong on that, which I'm not much on ballistics, but shithead couldn't ban AR-15s. He couldn't get anything to ban quote-unquote assault weapons, which is a fucking word I hate. He couldn't get the ban on AR-15s. So what's he do? And ending around. I'm going to sign an executive order on the fucking ammunition and take the ammunition away from the guns. Well, bravo, you fucking idiot. You figured something out. Which, hopefully the NRA and this coward-ass Congress, Boehner, you fucking puss, McConnell, you fucking crook, need to fucking stand up, and hopefully they get away and get this shit stopped, because eventually there's just going to be a war in this country. He's going to piss off the wrong people, and that means there's literally he ain't going to have to worry about ISIS or ISIL or whatever the hell he calls them this week, or I'm sorry, let me quote, extremist. He's going to have to worry about the Christian extremist in this country, because eventually he's going to piss them off and they're going to march on Washington. And I don't want to see the day. I really don't. I don't want my kids to grow up in this kind of world. I have 3 kids. I do not want my kids growing up in this kind of a world. And basically, I live in Washington State. I live in the very far northwest corner of Washington State. Originally from Ohio, but I live up in Birch Bay, Washington, basically. We got this stupid ass law that they passed back in November. Initiative 594, which I-594, whatever the hell you want to call it. Bullshit's what I call it. 18 pages of not gun control. Basically, that states that I can't let nobody use my gun unless y'all go get a background check. So if we're at the range and you say, hey, Rich, I want to shoot your gun, we got to go get you a background check. And we go to the range, you shoot my gun, you say, hey, your sights are off. Okay, well, I can't touch my gun. We got to go back and get me a background check, even though it's my weapon. So I go get me a background. It's fucking retarded. My kids can't even touch my gun. Well, if you listen to My Brain Hurts, I fucking jokingly, Gwen touched my gun and I yelled felon on the radio. It was kind of funny. But yeah, it's just, I don't know what to do about this government anymore, man. It's like they blatantly now, are out there saying, we don't really give a fuck about what the people say. We don't care what the people have to say. We are about us. We are about, padding our pockets and making sure we live good. And, the whole, bending over backwards on the DHS bill. Everybody's sitting there saying, oh, we can't shut down the government. That'll be terrible. It'll be a problem with national security. Basically, yesterday when Washington, D.C. shut down because of a snowstorm, the government shut down. No unessential people were at the government. The military still worked. Border Patrol still worked. Coast Guard still worked. Everybody in DHS was still working. Like they said, they was not going to be able to work. Like everything was going to come to a screeching halt. A snowstorm brought D.C. to a screeching halt. There was no federal offices open. Hence a government shutdown. So why would it have been so bad if they would have fucking threw a fit and Boehner would have cowered it up to fucking Pelosi and said, oh, we'll do this because we can't afford to stay in this government shutdown. You had a government shutdown yesterday, jackass. You fucking shut the government down. The government shuts down every Saturday, Sunday, Arbor Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, every fucking holiday they can think of. The government shuts down and nothing tragic happens because the essential stuff is still running. And, oh my God. I'm getting angry just talking about it. Excuse me. But, and then, global warming. Let's scour into this a little bit. It's fucking global. They need some global warming up here in North Dakota and all that. It's fucking, it ain't too bad today, but they need, now we're going into an ice age. Global warming. Now it's global cooling. Now it's climate change. Well, at least they finally just made something that makes a little more sense. Bad news, people. CO2 is not a greenhouse gas. CO2 is what comes out of your mouth when you exhale. CO2 is what keeps plants green. CO2 is what gets turned back into oxygen. CO2 is not going to kill you. I'm all over the fucking place. Something my daughter brought up when we were, well, she didn't bring it up, but I wish she would have on our show. She's got a page on Facebook. I don't know what it is. It's something about bullying. But another thing with bullying, why, okay, I was listening to Bennington this morning on Sirius XM on the OP radio, channel 206, I think it is. 206 or 103, I think it's both of them. But they're talking about a boy who had a video he was doing some kind of dance for something. He'd won a contest or some shit. He was doing a dance on a video. And he got a bunch of hits and a bunch of comments. And some of the comments, somebody called him a faggot. And he got hurt, and his mommy and daddy went after that person for that one fucking comment. They're like, he's being bullied. Oh my God, they're bullying my son. It's not bullying. I'm sorry. bullying is not just one comment. Bullying is when it is a series, a long-term thing. In my book, I got bullied in school. Everybody at one point in their life was bullied in school. Back in my day, you got your ass kicked. And if you didn't stand up to your bully, you got your ass kicked again. Bullies are generally a weaker person who just knows how to take advantage of others and make themselves feel better about themselves. But it's like, you're posting something on the internet. And Twitter's a perfect example of this. You post something on Twitter, you're going to have 300-400 people fucking just slamming you. You could say you love Jesus and they're going to call you a God lover. They're going to slam you for loving Jesus. They're going to slam you because you had a turkey sandwich. Twitter is an awful place in the long run. Now, I am on Twitter with the show, at Rich Erdman Show on Twitter. Shameless plug. But bullying irritates me because, yes, it's wrong. These kids that are killing themselves over it, there's got to be more going on in their heads than just that. That just has to be something that sets them off. It really makes no sense to me. I mean, bullying, just stand up to them. I mean, you got to be a strong person. The problem is these parents are not letting kids be kids. They're raising these kids to be fucking cowards. They're raising them to be fucking babies, Don't watch this, don't do that. It goes the same way with guns. I mean, parents, guns are bad. Some of the best competition shooters out there are like 10 years old right now. I mean, guns are not bad. If you don't know about them, don't talk about them, which is how most gun control gets passed. But back to bullying. Bullying versus criticism. If somebody's telling you, you suck, they're not bullying you, they're criticizing you. If you post a video on YouTube or you post a video on Reddit or you post a video somewhere and people are coming and saying, hey, your video sucks, they're not bullying you, they're criticizing you. Now, if they come up to your house and they knock the shit out of you, I'd say that qualifies a little more in the neighborhood of bullying. But, it really is just this world today is too pussified. Political correctness is way too fucking out of control. You can't say this, you can't say that, Rape jokes aren't funny. Well, maybe if you've been raped, rape jokes aren't funny. Personally, I find some funny. I'm gonna admit it. I mean, other than that, the rest, what's going on in the world, I'm more worried about that. I mean, bullying's not really my neighborhood. Maybe, the next episode of My Brain Hurts, which will probably be first week of April when I return home, with Gwen. I'll make her get more into that subject and she can knock that out with the listeners. But my big thing right now is, I don't know how many of you out there, other than me, feel that right now we are on the verge of World War III. There's this big thing, the part of the libertarian part of me says, bring our boys home, but now we're in a situation where if we do that, we're inviting them to our front door. And you got President Coward over here who won't admit that this extremism is Muslim extremism, and it kills me how he says Islam is not behind this extremism, even though ISIS's first word is Islamic. Okay, I don't really know where to go with that, but last time I checked, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, Obama will blame it on Christians. And just this stuff going with Russia, Russia and the Ukraine doing what they're doing up there, throwing blows back and forth, and, Netanyahu who came over here and just made Obama look like a bitch, and I loved every minute of that speech. I wish we could have that man I would trade Israel on a heartbeat for him, but I don't think they'd take Obama. Came out and, said, I'm going to do what I got to do to protect my people. Fuck you, Obama. Which I applauded. I mean, he didn't say it in those words, obviously. If he would have, it would have been even greater. But now you've got Saudi Arabia coming out. Saudi fucking Arabia, who generally in every other day of the week hates the shit out of Israel, came out and called Obama the worst American president in history. Now, when the damn Saudis are coming out and calling you the worst president in history, something's wrong there, Hoss. You may want to check your shit. And now I guess Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and uh, Israel are going to mount an offensive against ISIS. Which, hey, Egypt and Saudi Arabia teaming up with a Jewish state. Bravo! I mean, bravo. That's all I can say to that. And really, I mean, I hope to God they do. I hope they take the shit to ISIS. Because right now, the way it seems is Obama doesn't want nothing to do with it because he doesn't want to admit that it's the Muslims behind it. I mean, obviously is. He's just, I really don't know where to go with it. And he's, he does not, Rudy Giuliani came out and say, Obama does not love America. I agree with that. I do not think that man likes this country one way, shape, or form. It's just, from his apology tour when he first got in, apologizing for American exceptionalism, apologizing for this, apologizing for that, his wife, she's never been more proud to be an American until now, and I forgot what that was over. And these people hate this country. These Democrats hate our way of life. They hate the Republic. They piss on the Constitution. They do not care. They're given 5 fucking million illegal immigrants, amnesty. There's, everybody says, oh, if you don't support amnesty, you're racist towards Mexicans. Not racist towards Mexicans. Nowhere near it. Because some of those are Russians, some of those are Bosnians, Serbians, Croatians, fucking East Indians. Sorry about that. Little bit of a technical difficulty. I bumped my mute button and didn't realize it. Oh shit, what was I saying? Oh, illegal immigrants. Most of them are. They're bringing these kids over here. They're shipping these kids to every part of the country, and all of a sudden the measles has a breakout. Something else had a breakout. I can't remember what it was. Something 89, and it was a breakout. It's like you're bringing these unvaccinated kids over here, and they're getting, the kids here that aren't unvaccinated, they're getting them sick. Which I go both ways on the vaccination thing. My kids are vaccinated. My daughter's homeschooled. I think Jack will be homeschooled. But really, just really don't like the way the world is right now. Don't like the way this government's running. We need a new government from the top, bottom, Republican, Democrat, independent. They all need to just get kicked the fuck out. And we need to deal with it and let the world be a better fucking place. In other news, really don't have anything else. I guess I'll just plug shit. Alright, you can reach the network here, Open Road Internet Radio Network, at, Twitter is at Rich Erdman Show. That's the only one for the network right now. That's mine. Facebook / Open Road Internet Radio Network. Email is email is I forgot the email. Is openroadradionetwork@gmail.com. My Facebook's facebook.com / ErdmanRich. My Twitter is at ErdmanRich. And my email is at erdmanrich78 @gmail.com. Other than that, I guess I bid you a fondue. And eventually I will have hosts and other stuff on this show. I guess while I'm at it, I might as well bring up the other shows on here. Obviously, My Brain Hurts with myself and my daughter Gwen. And also probably on April 4th will be the first episode. It's either going to be called Liberty Out Loud. Actually, that's probably what the show's going to end up being called. I haven't decided on it. But that'll be with myself, Grant Steed, and Nick Kunkel is who I have planned for that show. And then the Wolfpack Airsoft Radio with David Adams and I believe Andrew Arnold. All that will be premiering on the probably Easter weekend, so somewhere time between Good Friday and Easter. And I will do this show whenever I feel I have enough time to do it. I have long days at work. I am a truck driver. Um, yeah. On that note, good night, everybody.